Good morning. So you join me on a day where I'm about to go and look at a new car. I don't know whether I've mentioned it on the channel before, but for a while now I've been investigating the idea of getting a practical car. So I've been looking at two different types of cars. One of them, unsurprisingly, is a Porsche, and the other one is a Ford. And today and tomorrow I'm going to go and look at two cars which I'm going to show you. Well, I'm going to show you one of them in this video, and it's obviously my inclination is to go for a Porsche because I've got, you know, two Porsches already, and I love the brand, and I love the idea of a Cayenne or a Macan. And the other thing that's always been in the back of my mind, and it's something I've wanted for a long time, is I've always wanted a truck. What Americans call a truck. I've probably never mentioned on my channel, but I used to live in the States. I lived in New Jersey. This is going 20 years ago. I lived there for about 3 years. And one of the things I always said is that I would love, if I ever lived in the US again, which is unlikely now, but if I lived in the US now, I would own a truck. I would have an F-150 or something like that. And unfortunately, in this country, an F-150, well, they do exist. People do have them, but they're so huge that I just don't think it's. I want it because I want it to be practical, and I think that would not be too practical here because the roads are a lot smaller than they are in the US, and the steering wheel's on the wrong side for us. So the next best thing is a Ford Ranger, and it's a wide body Ranger, and that's what I'm going to go and look at today. So let's get on the road and go and look at this this Ford truck. Right. It's great to get my Boxster back. I probably haven't posted the video yet. I did make a video about it, but my Boxster went in to get the front bumper repaired last week, and it was away for quite a while. Actually, it was away for a week. But while it was getting fixed, I had they gave me a Citroen DS7, which is an odd kind of car because it felt like a little hatchback, but it was actually an SUV, and it did. I must admit, it did reinforce the desire to get a practical car for myself, because at the moment I have two sports cars and each one of them only has 2 seats. So, like I said, I've wanted a practical car for a while. I have been looking at Cayennes and Macans, but the price of said vehicles was, there's a trickle-on effect. That I would start looking, I would say, okay, my budget is, you know, 15 grand or something, say, and I know that doesn't buy you much when it comes to Porsche, but I would say, okay, 15 grand is my budget. Then I'd see a car that was, you know, 17 grand, and I'd think, oh, that's not too much over my budget, so maybe I'll go for the 17 grand one. Then I'd see one that says 19 grand, and you know where this is going, right? So I ended up at like 67 grand at one point. So yeah. So then I said, okay, let's look at a different vehicle altogether. For 20 grand, I can get a really nice truck, you know, Ford Ranger pickup. But you can actually get a decent truck, maybe with high mileage, but you know, for starting at 10 grand, really. I was in the ballpark of between 10 and 20,000, and then I saw last night, I already arranged to go and see this truck, and then I saw a Cayenne which fell slap bang in the middle of my price range. So quite shocking. So I'm going to see that tomorrow. The colour is not a colour that I would ever pick, and I don't know why anyone would pick the colour that I picked, but when it comes to buying Porsches, you have to look at the specification of it first, which is what I did. In actual fact, I did that with this car, which is, I kind of did it too much, and I didn't take into account the colours of the interior and the exterior on this car. and that's one of the reasons why I'm selling it. I mean, hopefully I'm going to get a new car, right? But this truck I'm going to look at today is only 3 years old. The Cayenne is 10 years old. Alright, so here we are in the Ford Ranger. The gentleman has very kindly allowed me to take it out on my own. So my box is parked up, so I suppose he's not much chance of me stealing it. So let's take it for a drive. This is an automatic, which for me, wow, it's so high. An automatic is important for me in a car like this because it's not a fast car, and I just don't see the point. I don't see the point in frantically changing gears to go not very fast. So, yeah. So for me, I'm happy to have an automatic gearbox. It sounds like a taxi. in the UK, all taxis are diesels. Just because they're good on fuel. So wow, it's a wide car. I'm not used to being so high up. So 2017, so it's 3 years old. It looks like it's had it looks in good condition overall. There's a couple of things I noticed about it. The plastic panel around where the key goes in has been broken, and it's been taped together. So I noticed it when I was adjusting the steering wheel, and also there's a hazard warning light on, not a hazard warning light, but what you call it, an engine check light. So I'm not quite sure what that's about. Unfortunately, also I'm in an area that I don't know, so I don't know where I'm going. So what the gentleman was telling me in the showroom is this is not a stock car. They bought the car and then they fitted the panels, the wide flared arches and the big wheels, and they blacked out all the chrome that was on it. Apparently it had chrome around the windows and stuff like that, and they blacked it all out. So it's not a stock car, which I suspected might be the case. Wow. It's a big car for the UK road. The engine pulls fine, it doesn't feel underpowered. It's kind of fun. I'm not sure how much fun that. I'm not sure how long that fun would last. But you know, I'm looking for a practical car. I'm not looking for well, unfortunately, a Raptor. I'd love to have a Raptor, and a real Raptor from the US, but just not viable on these roads. The funny thing is that when I look at the speedo, I feel like I'm going faster than I'm doing 30. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting, should I say. It's got plenty of torque. It's got a partially digital display, which is, I suppose, is to be expected on a 3-year-old car. The rev counter is digital. The speedometer in the middle is an analog speedometer, and then on the left-hand side there's another screen. It's funny, I'm looking for paddles on the steering wheel. It doesn't have any. Wow. I love the height. I love the fact that I'm so high up. One of the things that I would need to get used to is the sheer length of it. I mean, when I was reversing just a minute ago, I went down the wrong way, and reversing it was interesting. But that does have rear parking sensors, so that's good. I think you need it on something this size. I don't know whether it's got any on the front though. I'm not sure, but look, the stereo looks like it might have Apple CarPlay. That would be a big bonus if it does. It's telling me that I can connect my iPhone, and it has a button on the screen that says apps, connect mobile apps. Has 2 USB slots as well, which is impressive. I'm in 2-wheel drive right now as well, so there's a switch: 2-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive high, and 4-wheel drive low. I've put it into 4-wheel drive high. I'm not sure whether I need it on the road, but it's cool that you can switch between. It feels different now. I've put it in 4-wheel drive, which is interesting. It really doesn't have a lot of power, but it doesn't seem to matter. From what I can remember, it feels similar to the ones I drove in the US, in the sense that, you know, it has torque, but you're not really going very fast. But it feels like you are. It feels like you're going faster than you are. It is a lot of fun, I must admit. I am quite enjoying it. I don't know why, because it's slow, and the cab is not the nicest cab in the world. There's an awful lot of plastic, which doesn't look, you know, but it doesn't matter. It's one of those things. That's what's interesting about it. It's comfortable. The seats are comfortable. The ride is quite firm, which I'm surprised about. It's not too noisy. I've got the window down. It's quiet in here with the window up. The seating position is okay. I'm sure I can adjust it a bit more. I've got the seat down as far as it can go. The gearbox is interesting. It sounds like it revs quite high. It's quite a curious sound. I think it's a torque converter gearbox. Interesting. The gearbox sounds strange. When you, from a standstill, you put your foot down, the revs get to a certain height, and then they seem to stay at that height, and they just revs at that same level. It's quite peculiar. There's a gap in front of me. There's 2 lanes at lights, and ordinarily I would be able to get in there easily in my Boxster, but I'm finding myself waiting because this is wide. Actually, I can drive up the curb. That's great that I can hit the curb like that and not worry about it. If I did that in either of my cars, I'd be terrified. That's whoa. Ah, quite good. Good turning circle on it. That's annoying. Right. Trade entrance. Wow. It's got a fantastic turning circle on it. But I feel like when I put it on full lock, when I put it on full lock, the front tyres are banging against something. I'll have to investigate that when I get back. Let's have a look. So I'm going to put it on full lock. Go outside and have a look. Full lock, I felt it rubbing on something, and it looks like it could be that. And it does have Apple CarPlay, which is awesome, which is a big plus for me. Because one thing I don't have in either of my cars, even my Boxster doesn't have it. My current Boxster, my new Boxster will have it if I get the Spider. But that's a big plus for me, big bonus. Alright guys, so I'm back home, back in the garage. The garage door's closed. It's already gone dark outside. About 7:30 now. What to take away from the day? Well, it was good fun. I really enjoyed it. Never driven anything like that in the UK. I love the way it looks. I loved the height that I was when I was driving it. I love the fact that I could bump up over the curb and not worry about it. And I loved it. I don't know what it was about it, but it's just so different to what I'm accustomed to that it was really good fun. So tomorrow I'm going to go and look at this Cayenne, and one of the considerations I have to make before I make a decision about which vehicle to buy, because ordinarily this vehicle would be a vehicle that mainly sits on my drive, and when I need a practical car, then I go to that car, right? But I'm going to be going abroad this year, possibly for 3 to 4 months. I'm planning on taking the car with me. So it's going to be my only car for all that period. I'm going to have to drive it for a long distance, either, well, I'm not sure where to yet, because I'm not sure which shipyard I'm going to, but possibly in Germany. So it's something that I'm going to have to drive a long way, and I have to take that into consideration. So the Cayenne that I'm going to look at tomorrow has got an amazing spec on it. It's going to be, I would imagine, a lot more comfortable. So anyway, I'll have to reserve my judgments until I've driven the Cayenne, until I've seen it, and then we'll talk about which one I should get. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to make some comments. Tell me what you think about the truck, and what do you think about Ford Ranger versus Cayenne. Which one would you take? So let's talk about it in the comments, and thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to hit the like button, and that will help my video get pushed out to more people, which hopefully get some more subscribers. Alright guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Alright, bye.